am Tom Tucker. Welcome to another episode of the Non-True Media.
Today we have a special segment about one of the most controversial books in American history.
His creator was a strong writer and gambler, and due to his highly respected reputation, his book did not only receive the criticism of intellectuals and colleagues, but of the entire human race.
Yes, you guessed right, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be talking about the most famous and criticized book, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Yes, folks, as my partner said, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn has created tons of controversy among our extremely reputable and honorable society.
It is obvious that when speaking about this controversial book, the opinions and arguments of the public split into equal parts.
The case is so thrilling that we have sent our reporters out to interview experts and analyzers on the subject known as Censoring Huckleberry Finn.
Here's our reporter Anthony with the intro.
Hi guys, today we are reporting live with the amazing journalist and critic of literature, Margarita Fuller. Margarita, first of all, thank you for being here with us today. It is a pleasure to have such a distinguished woman in front of our camera.
It is my pleasure.
So, Margarita, can you tell us your opinion in The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn?
Certainly, Huckleberry Finn has been unjustly criticized by ignorant people who don't understand the deepest meaning of this novel.
What do you base your opinion on?
Well, certainly people around the world know that Huckleberry Finn is criticized by the language and the racism in it. Yet, it is of my knowledge that only people who lack proper education would actually mimic or repeat the bad words and the bad choices referred to in the book instead of acknowledging the lessons taught in this amazing book.
Well, what about the lesson Huck gives about lying? Isn't it lying bad?
Well, certainly lying is bad. It is so bad it is even considered a sin. Yet, considering the environment in which Huck lived with a drunken father who would always whip him and without the protection and care of a mother, it is more than obvious that he knew no better. And to his defense, on top of only being a 13-year-old child, which lie all the time, most of the time Huck lied to benefit or help others, and to be realistic, who hasn't lied at least once in their entire life? Certainly, I understand many of the opinions and arguments of the people wanting to ban this book. I can only consider them ignorance who don't appreciate the work of literature and life expressed by my colleague Mark Twain.
Well, Margarita, thank you once again for this wonderful interview.
You are very welcome. Like I said, it is my pleasure.
Well, guys, you just heard the sad words of one of the most famous American critics, Margarita Fuller. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Anthony.
Next, we have our reporter Karen with another special report.
Karen, good evening, folks. Today I feel extremely honored by the presence of a Nobel Prize winner in the literature area. Ernest Hemingway, thank you very much for this interview.
It is my pleasure, ma'am.
Mr. Hemingway, do you think The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn should be censored or removed from the public display?
Of course I don't. I really don't understand why people would even consider censoring this piece of art.
Why is this book so important to the American society?
Well, as I said, all modern American literature comes from one book by Mark Twain called Huckleberry Finn. The book is like the roots of our past and our present. It describes and fulfills the actions we made and that we're trying to fix.
So why do you defend this book so much?
Simply because it interprets life in a child perspective. It goes beyond the public opinion in a certain way. It talks about the subjects people don't dare to talk about.
Which subjects?
Racism, slavery, abuse, alcoholism, robbery, murder, and many others.
Well, if these subjects are so negative or bad ones, why wouldn't the book should be banned?
Simply because there is no better way to learn about life and how it truly was or still is than by reading about it.
Well, Mr. Hemingway, thank you very much for this interview. It was a great pleasure meeting you. Well, guys, back to the studio.
Thanks, Karen. We hope you come to realize that no book can do any harm while in the hands of the right people.
You're right, Tom. A book can only make harm if a person chooses to use its lessons for a bad purpose.
Well, guys, that is it for today. We hope you enjoy our special segment on Censoring Huckleberry Finn.
We hope you join us tomorrow for another episode of the Non-True Media.